to the Nerdentials podcast, starring your hosts, Joe Tweedy, Matthew Johnson, Nick Thomas, and Lynn Dudley.
And I fell out of the hot tub. I'm on number 2.
I'm on number 1. Why am I behind?
You're not behind.
Yeah, why is that number 2?
You got 6%. These are like 5.3.
Why is the Irishman behind?
Exactly.
We didn't buy enough for him to be ahead.
Oh, there's that.
This is very... Come on. Amy said she's going to drink 3 or 4, which leaves me with 3 of these.
And there's beer in there.
So you can have one of Nick's because I'm not consuming one of his right now.
Multiple.
Hey,
Or you can have a couple. Go grab a couple.
Mine is like, what, 30%? 40?
You
35.
have liquor, sir. We have beer. You have liquor.
You are.
I'm going to be really annoyed by this editing process here because I got so much to cut out.
Yeah, you do.
So, we're talking about the E3 coverage part where we learned that Fortnite was finally released for the Nintendo Switch. And as we all know, Microsoft has their arms wide open for playing with others and friends, or they've now made friends, as it were, with Nintendo. Crossplay.
Well,
account transferring. It's beautiful. And the culprit here of not wanting to play fairly, or with others for that matter, has been Sony. And we're here to quickly, or not quickly, discuss our feelings on that decision from corporate Sony. Matthew, you raised your hand. Go for it.
Last E3, Microsoft specifically called out companies to say, hey, we want to play cross-platform.
Yeah. And if we remember correct, yeah.
Sony was like, no.
Yeah. They announced that they were going to do the same thing with Minecraft. And Sony said no. Yeah. We're with the same culprit, the same repeat offender.
Yep.
Lynn, any quick opening thoughts here? You could just throw a quick thought out there.
I'll save it. I'm good.
Okay.
And we don't want this to just sound like a big bash on
This is not going to be a one-sided thing. You can agree or disagree.
Right now, so this is your time to shine.
No, my thing is they're going to do what they want to do. I might disagree with it, but I can't really control it. Only thing I can do is not partake in certain things.
How do you feel about it, though? Like,
honestly, I feel like it's a dumb move.
And the big picture of it, Lynn, for you, the big picture.
I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, Fortnite in the past has shown that they've been able to open up the servers, and Xbox has been able to play with PlayStation. Like, there's plenty of YouTube videos.
There was an incident.
There was a week straight where everyone was able to play with each other on Fortnite, and nobody noticed. It took a Reddit user realizing that PlayStation accounts can't have spaces in their names, and we were playing with people who had spaces in their names.
Yes, that was the incident. Yeah.
The only way you can have spaces is on Xbox or PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, by proxy of the accident,
like my gamer tag,
Epic showed that it's a quick switch. It's a quick switch in the modifications of their game. There's no effort behind it. It's clearly a business decision that Sony does not want to do this. And so I guess I'll make this broad statement. Everyone here at the table probably, am I right, guys, is not super excited that they're making this choice. And because it's anti-consumerism, is it not? Or anti-gamer. It's anti-gamer, is it not?
It's hindering the rest of the industry. If you look at everyone else, they're trying to make it crossplay so that people on Nintendo can play with people with Xbox. People on Xbox can play with people on computer. Everyone can play together.
Let me make a quick point about recently upgraded president status Phil Spencer of the Xbox line under Microsoft. all the previous years when Microsoft was doing exclusive this, exclusive that, there still is a competitive edge behind doing that, and there still is exclusivity. It's not going away completely, but crossplay was never really an open idea until Phil Spencer was promoted to presidency of Xbox gaming. He controls everything in Microsoft that's related to Xbox. Mm-hmm. He oversees everything, and his vision has been very public over the last 2 years that he wants to focus entirely on the gamer and enhancing the gamer experience. So, and Microsoft, sure, they have money to throw around to a degree, and so it makes it a little easier for them to look at this and say, let's look like the better guys. So I'm just, hear me out for a second, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not a Sony fan. I'm a fan of the IPs and products that Sony has, but I'm not a fan of their maybe corporate business decision to not be pro gamer, and so that's why Xbox right now is very attractive. But even Phil Spencer admitted in a quote that he understands Sony is making this move. It's a business move. Mm-hmm. They're looking at the money side of things. They have an 80 million player base on the PlayStation side. We don't know the total Xbox One ownership because Microsoft is keeping that hush-hush, and whether or not they're close or not, I don't think is really the big important aspect of this. I think the big key part, at least for us as gamers, is that Phil Spencer is holding up the flag for us as gamers, and my bottom line opinion, even from a corporate decision, is I just think this move, and Lynn said it earlier, he said it was a bad move. I'm agreeing with that and adding to that by saying I think in the next 5 years it's going to bite Sony in the ass. I think it's going to bite them in the ass very quickly based on how it affects the Fortnite player base that's already at 120 million players. I'm going to stop talking now and let the table open up here.
You got to look at it from the way that Sony responded. And the way that Sony responded was with an actual insert from their contract, and it was for privatization and royalty rights. They took it straight out of the contract and posted it in the comments or the a reply to somebody. And the thing that I don't understand is it's a free to play game. Why would you take something from a contract or like privatization and make it that big of an issue? Because honestly, I mean, yeah, sure, you get a little bit from the microtransactions, like on PSN. There's like royalties that PlayStation will get from it. But I mean, even if you opened it up, you're still not going to lose that. When somebody buys V-Bucks on Xbox, there's a little bit that goes to the Xbox, But when somebody buys V-Bucks on PSN, you get the royalties and stuff from PSN. So why is it that big of an issue? I mean, other than opening up the servers, I mean, yeah, server maintenance is going to be a little bit more difficult because you're going to have to, I don't know.
Well, let's not forget
sync or line things up with Xbox and Switch
and everything. Yeah.
Well, they've already showed they got the technology to do it.
And let's not forget Sony's prior excuse, their prior PR move a year ago was, and I quote, "We don't want our player base, our younger player base, to be affected by the more adult player base of Xbox or PC." They made some really stupid PR statement about being worried about their younger player base being affected by whatever that is, censorship, whatever. But the thing is, they came back this year and just straight up admitted it's a business move. We care more about the money we're going to make from it.
I feel like
that's literally what they're saying.
I feel like Xbox has a younger player base than PlayStation. In all fairness, I feel like on Xbox I'll run into a 12-year-old sooner than I would on a PlayStation.
This is true.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? Because
and a lot of that has to deal with the
like
exclusivity of like games like God of War and stuff like that. That's like
M-rated, just really adult. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's. I think what they were releasing, like the player range was 20 to 30 for PS4, whereas it's a whole lot younger for Xbox.
Yeah, you're looking in like the teen range to like 25.
Like 8 or 9,
right,
8 or 9 to 25.
There was an article on Forbes, it looks like, just 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They did an interview with John Smedley, who was the former president of Sony Online Entertainment. He said, and he agrees, that it's all about money. His exact words was that when I was at Sony, the stated reason internally for this was money. They didn't like someone buying something on an Xbox and it being used on a PlayStation. Simple as that. Dumb reason, but there it is. They didn't want people to be able to buy something on Xbox and not buy it on Sony and play it on.
Even if it's aesthetic, I don't understand. Even if it's aesthetic, I could understand if it was something that actually gave you a bonus. Like if you went to PvE and you bought a weapon in PvE where it's actually a really good weapon, I could get it. But
right.
if it's like just a skin or like a parachute or something, no, that's kind of garbage.
Like I said all along, they're being greedy as possible.
Okay,
they're thinking if someone is doing crossplay, they're not using our system.
Here's my big question: do they block out Xbox accounts? Like
you can't play an Xbox Xbox Fortnite account on Sony.
All I've Switch.
Okay, hold on for our listeners, because I've heard it on several podcasts already, so it's already out there by the time you guys hear this discussion. But Sony, here's the crazy thing: right before the lockout, there were some people who started an account on PC or Xbox, and then a couple players, specifically someone on I don't have the exact references, but on a podcast I just listened to, someone had said that they had tried out. They're like, I kind of want to try my Fortnite account on PlayStation. But the account originated on PC or Xbox, right? So they tried their account on PlayStation, and then Sony very quickly after implemented the complete lockout. So what happened is, once he linked his account to the PlayStation Network, he could not go back to the Xbox or PC. Once it was locked out, it was a permanent PlayStation account. He tried going back all the progress he had made on his previous account. Like, let's say Fortnite's been out for a while, and he put 100 hours in, bought a bunch of skins. Let's say he bought a bunch of perks of the Battle Pass. Let's say he bought the Battle Pass, all of that crap on the Xbox or PC. As soon as they made the lockout, and he just wanted to try out the PlayStation Network and play with a couple buddies. They locked it out, and he could not use that account anymore back on his other systems. It was locked. So as it is right now, Sony is locking out any accounts from transferring from a previous location, from a different location to Sony. You can't do it anymore. And if you started on Sony, you can't transfer it to somewhere else either. So what that means is right now you have to create an account on Sony, and that's the only place it can exist. And if you want to do Switch, Xbox, PC, you have to start a brand new account on those, and there's no connection between PlayStation and everyone else. That includes iOS, Android, Switch, Nintendo Switch, Microsoft Xbox, and PC. All of them can You can move your account between any of those devices, back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to go travel. I'm going to keep playing my matches while I'm on the train or on my plane. I land back home. I'm going to hop on my Xbox, my PC, whatever. PlayStation's like, we have an 80 million player base. We don't want to lose out on the sales that occur naturally with our player base. And Sony was quoted as saying, we feel that we have enough players to play with each other that we don't, basically, I'm paraphrasing this part, we don't need to join anyone else. That's it. They screwed over a lot of people during the process when they went into the lockout, and going forward, a lot of PlayStation players have a Switch. A statistic came out saying 40% of PS players have recently bought a Switch. And on E3, when they announced Fortnite had launched the day that E3 was there, in 24 hours, the Switch player base grew by 2 million players. 2 million Fortnite players jumped on the Switch. Out of the 120 million worldwide player base that exists on all platforms, 2 million joined the Switch because it's a mobile option for people. And I've heard a few people that have a PlayStation and a Switch are very pissed off that they can't, go mobile with it because everyone else can. And just a couple people, I'm sure it's a little more widespread than this, but the reason I said Sony is going to get bit in the ass is some people are saying, well, I almost feel like what's the point in having my PlayStation account if I can't go mobile with it now with the Switch? I'm thinking about jumping ship and getting an Xbox. And that's for just the Fortnite base. That doesn't apply to, all the games. Sony has a wide catalog of games, but that's kind of a significant sting. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bad move. I mean,
it's a bad move in the aspect for the gamer. However, as far as say VR goes, PlayStation's got it down. Sony's got it down.
For now.
And right now you can play the Resident Evil 7 on. Yeah, you guys had me do that. That creeped the crap out of me.
I have footage, guys. I'll put it in somewhere.
But I think what they're trying to bank on is the fact that they're ahead in that game.
In the console, player base, the amount of players they currently have, they're trying to hold on to that. They don't want to lose it. I get it. And
the VR aspect gives them an upper hand, so to speak, against the other people because nobody else has it.
For now,
yes. As soon as Microsoft gets their stuff going, what's PlayStation going to do at that point? What's Sony going to do at that point? They're going to have to either join the train of being cross-platform, or they're going to have to basically die.
Well, Xbox has already said that they're not going to do VR for the sheer fact that it is gimmicky.
No.
They have to build games specifically around it.
Hey, we're kind of veering into a different territory here with the VR thing. I was just
saying at that point, where Sony's coming from there with the whole aspect of them not wanting to do it. It is a money thing, and right now their big money thing is VR.
Which Oculus does better.
Lynn?
My concern, I want to start saying that the VR is kind of a gimmick. Okay, I agree. But my concern is the Switch also announced that Paladins is going to come to that console. Okay? I'm super excited about that. And I have a ton of time into that game. Okay? Is that going to be locked out as well? Because it's also, which is that is garbage, I don't see why.
It's
because
Sony's going to have to make a decision. I think within the next not even 5 years. I think they're going to have to make a decision quite quickly.
In the next year or so.
Yeah, within the next year or so, because Microsoft is saying, "Hey, let's go play," and Nintendo's like, let's do it. And they jumped on board. PC already jumped on board because Microsoft is PC.
It's a monopoly of the PC world. Yeah.
Sony doesn't want to share their player base. It's plain and simple. It has nothing to do with that they don't have the technology. It has nothing to do with it being difficult for them to share it. They don't want to. It's not good for their pocket.
It's not that they don't want to share the player base. It's they don't want to share the transactions. If you buy over on Xbox the skin, and then you come over to PlayStation, they lose on that skin revenue.
And use it, yeah.
I mean, I can get it if they need to figure out a way to, if that's what Sony's concerned about, lock the skin. You know, make the skin. You bought it on an Xbox. Sweet, you've got that.
You can only play it on Xbox,
right? So that you make a good transition here, Lynn, for the next point to this. That I wanted to finish.
How they can fix it.
Well, no. Yes, but what I wanted to finish the topic with is, so cross-play is one thing. Cross-saves is a different thing that they're kind of both related, but hear me out first.
Just make it local. Make it local. You bought it here. It's local. It's saved to your hard drive.
Yeah, okay. As far as cross-play goes, that's something that they could maybe work out or work around. Yeah, but hold on. Let me. The other point that with cross saves, and I'm talking about Destiny 2 when I'm talking about cross saves, being able to transfer your information. But and the difference here is, okay, they don't want cross play with free to play games. Because there's an untapped market if they allow that. Because although the game is free, they miss out on microtransactions. And that's the only thing that exists for free-play games that would be an issue for them. You know, be like, well, we're missing out on this money. Now, when we talk about games you pay for, we have to buy Destiny 2. We have to buy... So, I want to follow on this one example. You buy Destiny 2, if I want to just purely move my account to the computer, or let's say I have a PlayStation so I can play with you. Let's say you can't afford an Xbox, but I happen to be able to get a PlayStation. I have to now play 100+ hours to get my character up to where it was, just so I can do end-game content with you on a PlayStation. Whereas I invested, 400 hours like Matt. Well, crap, dude. Sorry, dude. You got to start from scratch if you want to join Lynn.
Yep.
I would think. I know they're both connected in some way. It would just the only thing I would appreciate PlayStation offering is at least games you have to pay for up front anyway. Just allow, because one guy told me in a recent Destiny Reset podcast I listened to, he said, "Man, I got a PlayStation, an Xbox, and a PC," and he said if Sony right now would allow account transfers of Destiny 2, I would buy 3 copies of that dang game. Or when Forsaken comes out, he'd buy 3 copies, and that would mean more money for Activision, Sony, and Bungie if they allowed cross-save with games you pay for. Because you still have to physically buy the game to play it anyway, but why don't you at least allow us to account transfer? We still have to buy the game. You're still making money off of the game.
I guess
because Sony can't use their exclusives as to hold over everyone's head.
I guess.
I know, but how many Xbox players would buy a PlayStation and buy a copy of the PlayStation game if they could transfer their account and not have to spend 500 hours to catch up?
We should have we should have seen it coming though with Destiny 1. You remember when it launched on the 360 and the PS3, and then they upgraded, and then everybody bought either Xbox One or PS4. They forced everybody to pick right then. And we should have seen it coming right then, at that point when they forced it.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. when I went from 360 to Xbox One, I still had to pay $20 more for the Xbox One version of the game.
Yep.
Even though I still had all the time on my Xbox 360.
And they
It then continued on with the Xbox One, and I could get all the achievements again and whatnot, but at the same time, like, it was just...
Rockstar did the same thing with Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
and
It was that... Yeah.
it was that one opportunity that they gave you where you could go from PS3 to Xbox One and transfer your account, but you could only do it once.
You could only do it once.
And then after that, once you did it, like if you did it to Xbox One, you'd have to buy get your PS4 and then work everything back up, creating a new account.
So, how should we wrap this up? Because this was kind of just... we wanted to just get our thoughts out there on it. I think all of us are against the lockout.
Sharing is caring.
Matthew?
Shit is caring.
Lynn?
Shitty business model, and I hope that Nintendo and Xbox keep giving them shit. Keep it up on Twitter. With
Have you seen the Twitter trolls, you guys? I know Lynn saw it when I posted.
Saw some of them.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
But he shared it.
I was the one who linked it to you. Yeah,
yeah, I know. And then I read the thread.
They need to keep. They
We'll have
need.
to put some screenshots on here.
They need to just keep the salt going because it's
I think they will.
people are upset about it, and they need to learn that it's not okay. I mean, yeah, sure, I get that they want to make money, but at a certain point, they're going to start losing money. If you jump over dollars to make dimes, you're really losing in the end.
You know what's really funny? Like, a lot of the big Destiny 2 players right now have jumped ship off of PS4, like Twitch streamers, and gone with just Xbox and PC. Because at some point,
all the streamers that I see are only doing it on PC now.
Yep.
Yeah, because that way they can choose to bounce around if they want to.
And that native above 60 frames.
Well, yes, and PC
That
powerhouse, of course. But
That and
we all know
hand
that.
cannons are so much easier to use on PC than console.
Yeah,
It's almost cheating.
I bet they are. I'm sure they are.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's sniping at that point with PC. Sniping with a hand cannon.
I follow Gathalion on freaking Twitch, and the way he people in that game.
Whoa.
In PC.
Strong word.
Sorry.
Rex.
Annihilates. How about that?
The way
For fun,
Rex
for
decimates.
fun, I'm gonna bleep that out, Matthew. Anyway.
To all the women out there that
Anyway.
are offensive.
Guys,
He's crude, rude, and unacceptable. Don't bring him anywhere.
anything else you want to conclude with, Lynn, before I close this out on the short long talk?
I mean, it's just they need to figure out a way to either make saves local, or do something just to make it so that they're comfortable with sharing the server status, because it's already been shown that it's capable, and everybody knows that it's capable. So why not just accomplish it? I mean, they tried to make excuses in the past saying that gameplay won't be fair or some other baloney, But I mean,
it was all there right in front of them, and
I mean, really,
nobody had an advantage.
Really, it's just a simple script and some coding that can fix everything, and just get everything in line and do it. That's
You hear that, Sony? We're talking to you.
Two groups of people are going to decide this if you don't, Sony. The gamers and the game developers.
Yeah.
The game developers are going to get sick and tired of losing money because you won't share their platforms, and they just won't allow you to have their games.
And then,
I know we're wrapping up, but I'm going to bring up one line because you said developers. Epic, who made Fortnite, has done nothing but publicly boast all players play together. They've wanted it from the very beginning. And something additionally shady that Sony has been doing is Sony has been redirecting consumer complaints about the lockout back to Epic. even though it's probably Epic probably has to make the lockout happen because it's game-based servers, but Sony is the one mandating that requirement. And so Epic is being left screwed. Like, we want all the players to play, but our hands are being forced.
It's probably, the reason why it's going to Epic is it's probably something to do with the contract. That's the only reason why Sony would copy-paste it into Reddit as a response. Is it something in the contract, and they're just like, well, they signed this, and blah, 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 and that's why Sony's redirecting it to Epic.
Yep. Well, guys, bottom line...
to be honest, I think Epic should just take it to court anyways.
Yeah, but contracts are very strong, and I don't know if they have a leg in that game. At this point, I'm just saying. And it would be real easy for Sony to make an addendum to the contract as opposed to Epic fighting for it. But they will continue on social media anyway to promote that they want gamers to play together.
Ooh, power to the gamers.
Hold on. One last thing. Did you guys see Mixer getting into it on the Twitter feed with the whole salt throwing towards Sony?
No.
Mixer tweeted a picture of Sony and Nintendo making a heart. One side of the heart was green for Xbox, and one side of the heart was red for Nintendo. And Mixer goes, see, we can all be friends, or at least two of us.
Yes, even Mixer is joining in the social media conversation.
And
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, that's going to have to conclude our... you want to say one more thing, Matthew?
No.
Okay. I know. That's going to conclude, guys, our mini-sode. Even if this ran over the amount of time I had said it might run, it's still a mini-sode. We're going to keep it at that. It's our opinion piece for the week.
It's because I'm back.
It was a passionate topic as well. Don't take all the credit.
He had to get in on a mini-sode at least once. He misses them all.
Yes, he's on. It's been a while since he's been around. You guys all remember this guy?
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
you didn't introduce us.
Well, I'm planning on releasing the E3 episode before this minisode goes up. Possibly, probably.
Wait, who the heck am I?
I didn't introduce anyone, guys. Anyone?
My name's Kevin.
I'm introducing everyone at the end. For me, Nick, Lynn, and Matthew. This has been a Nerdentials minisode, and as always, nerds, we'll see you on the other side.
Did I get it spot on that time, or was I off?
You were off by 2 seconds. It's all good, though. We're two separate files, so theoretically I could make you sound in sync with us.
I tried to line it up.
I was telling him what we should do is we should just record us all say it right on the spot on, like one time all together, and just overlay it every single time. And then we just do the Japanese.
Yeah. Nicholas.
That works.